Hello Physical Fiends, it's Jordan here again with some recently announced physical releases. Remember, they are not releasing this week, that is a different video series. These are games that have just been announced for a physical release. And also, I don't mention limited releases here because those are in Monday's video and I don't want to repeat myself. So, what has recently been announced? Well, Class of Heroes 3 Remaster is finally getting a Western English release. This was a PlayStation 3 and PSP game that only came out in Japan despite attempts from publishers to bring it to the West. It just never happened. But now it's getting a remaster, so they thought, why not? I briefly played the first two games, which came in a handy little collection last year on the Switch, and I expect more of the same, and hopefully, better, more polished, more modern-ish. The first two games were brutal, although I am a bit rusty when it comes to these type of games, so maybe it's just me. This is releasing in the West on the Switch and PlayStation 5 in October. K-pop idol stories Road to Debut is releasing on Switch and PlayStation 5 sometime next year. Yeah, VGP say 2026. That's crazy. But hey, managing the lives of K-pop idols is something one truly needs to wait for. Your body must be prepared for the experience. It actually looks like a pretty solid title with a lot going on. If you liked Idol Manager, which is currently on the Switch, then you'll probably get a kick out of this one. It looks like it's got a bit more budget to it. And yeah, we'll have to see next year. And if you want to pre-order this or any of the games in this video, please use the purchase links in the description and pinned comment. That is the best way to support this channel to keep making useful physical content for you guys. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. VGP are a good company with favorable prices in Canadian bucks and free worldwide shipping on orders over 80 CAD, which is less than 60 American dollars. Thank you so much for your support. MADO MONOGATARI, Fear and the Wondrous Academy is a surprising announcement for me. I had eyes on the Japanese release and kinda wish it had English, but not to worry. Idea Factory are here to save the day with their terrible dialogue. I have to admit, the game isn't what I thought it was. I thought it was a Puyo Puyo game with some RPG elements, but no, it's like a visual novel with RPG dungeon crawling. The Puyo Puyo puzzle games are a spin-off of this series, so I'll give it a shot for sure. The Thing Remastered, I made a video about this specifically a few days ago, so I won't spend much time on it here, aside from to say that I'm very excited that this is getting a physical release at retail on Switch and PS5 in a standard and deluxe edition in June. Literally the least fitting time to release the game. Not for Halloween season, not in the winter for the setting, no, just summer. I love it. Discounty sounds like the most apt name for a P-Cube title. This is releasing physically on Switch and PlayStation 5 in August, so a while to go yet. It's a management game where you build a supermarket in a cozy and probably stressful way. I don't know if it appeals to me, but I know that if I did play it, I would probably get very addicted to it, as long as my employees don't keep resigning thanks to me being the tyrant that I am. Could be cool, one to keep an eye on. Iwakura Aria is a visual novel from Mages, which no doubt will get this video copyrighted to death. It's got an interesting art style, reminds me of the House in Fata Morgana a little bit, mixing European and Japanese styles. And yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty decent game. My main man, Marin, who now has his own dedicated channel, he made a review of the Japanese version when it came out last year. So if I remember, I will link his video down below so you can see it and, if you'll be interested in the Western localization in August. As I'm writing this, Marin has almost 1,000 subscribers, so go and push him over that barrier, okay? He really deserves it. His latest video is just incredible. Bustafellows Season 2 is another visual novel, another one being published by P-Cube in the West, a sequel to the popular Otome from a few years ago, or was it like 5 years ago? I can't remember at this point. This was well received by Japanese readers when this came out in 2023 over there, and I'm pretty sure if you enjoyed Season 1, this will also be a must-have Otome title. Chronicles of the Wolf is releasing physically in June on Switch and PlayStation 5, and this looks like a fantastic attempt at a classic Vania-style game. The dude has the exact same walk as a Belmont, and this game was made by the same person as Wallachia, which I always forget how to say properly because I only say it once every 5 years. There's probably going to be a little bit of stiffness to it, but I'm looking forward to it for sure. Gal Guardian Servants of the Dark is getting a physical release on Switch and PlayStation 5. Unlike the first game, which was a linear run and gun, this is a full-blown Metroidvania. You have two characters who are fully upgradable with their own unique attacks and stuff, one more long range, the other one up close and personal. Love the box art for it as well. It's releasing in June. Hunter x Hunter Nen Cross Impact is releasing in July in a standard and limited edition, which has a steelbook, art book, acrylic standee, and some DLC. This is on Switch and PlayStation 5, and it is a 3v3 fighter. I'm not expecting this to turn up at EVO. Looks like it might just be a cheap, cheerful jobbo rather than anything a serious fighter will want to master. But hey, if you like the shonen manga, you may have some fun with the characters you know and love. I believe this will be the first game in the franchise to get a Western release too, so yeah, kind of a big deal. House of the Dead 2 Remake is coming physically to Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation 5 in May. It's been a good while since the remake of the original game, but I think most were waiting for this one since it was always a massive step up, not only in quality but, cultural influence. The trailer looks okay, to be fair, although it seems the developer is stuck in the late 2000s art direction where everything has a yellow piss filter over it for literally no reason. I played the original, it wasn't piss yellow. Also, bring back light guns, okay? And I'm talking about proper ones, yeah? Why did they ever go away? And don't say HD TVs, okay? Because that's a loser's excuse. If there was money in it, they would find a way. I want a proper light gun. Scar-Led Salvation. That is a pretty badass name. And it's releasing on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in May. This is a third-person shooter with bullet hell elements. Simple sci-fi action game that's $60. Developed by Compile Heart, published by Idea Factory in the West. The price won't surprise you that much if when those two get together, the price is going to be way higher than it should be. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, another wolf. It's a pretty big upcoming fighting game, the first game in the series since 1999's seminal Garo Mark of the Wolves. 26 years, that's crazy. This also includes some Street Fighter characters as well, like Chun-Li, and no doubt tons of downloadable content, which I've kind of grown tired of. I've been playing various retro fighters from Tekken, Dead or Alive 2, Last Bronx, and it's nice knowing you boot it up and all the characters are there, and there are probably a handful of them to unlock by playing the game, not paying extra for them, but I'm a grumpy old man. This is releasing on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox. If you pre-order, you get a downloadable code for a DLC costume. Lovely. On PlayStation 5 specifically, there is a deluxe edition, which includes a steelbook, soundtrack CDs, art book, stickers, and a poster. Releasing in April. Now, Fangamer have been announcing a lot of physical games recently. I haven't mentioned them when they popped up because for some reason they don't open pre-orders. I find that weird. Like, surely you would want to capitalize on the hype by getting pre-orders out on announcement day. By the time they're open, most people will have forgotten about it, but I'm just going to go through them now. I'll bring them up later in more detail if and when pre-orders do open. Mouthwashing on PlayStation 5 and Switch. Look, Be a Landlord on Switch. Off, we've already talked about that. 9 Souls on Switch. Little Kitty Big City, talked about that before. Anton Blast on Switch. Crow Country on Switch and PlayStation 5. And I've talked about Pizza Tower already. Some great games in there, and I'm very excited by maybe 3 of them. Yeah, looks great. Alright, let's jump into some import announcements. Links below for these are for Play Asia, and if you click the link, you can get 5% off with the code Jordan2025. Gloom and Doom is an import-exclusive visual novel releasing in Japan, and it does have English, although I think it seems a bit strange. It's a random 3-hour visual novel that didn't exactly set the world alight when it released digitally, and it looks kind of miserable, not very interesting. I mean, maybe it's fine, I just don't get the physical for it. It doesn't seem like the type of game to get a physical release. Staffer Case, a supernatural mystery adventure, is certainly far more interesting for visual novel fans. I love a good murder mystery that tries to be like Phoenix Wright. Here you have 5 cases to solve in a 1960s style with anime, and the reviews are pretty good for it. I am interested in this one. It's coming in a standard edition in May and a collector's edition, which includes an art book, soundtrack CD, and pin badge. The Japanese release will have English. Shinobi, Art of Vengeance. Bit of a strange one. The physical release for the West has not been detailed as of yet, but my insider info / speculation, I have heard that in North America, maybe Limited Run are doing this. That's not set in stone, and even my source isn't 100% sure of it, but that's the rumor that's going around. But it is weird that West and Sega haven't mentioned it. When Japan is like, yeah, please buy it, here it is, buy it right now. And the Japanese release is very, very affordable. On Switch and PlayStation 5, it's less than $25 for the physical release. At that price point, it seems there's no worry about waiting for a Western physical. That will no doubt be like $35 or $40. They will play in English. And there we have some recent physical announcements. Which one has tickled your fancy? Let me know in the comments below, and if you'd like to pre-order any of them, please consider doing so with the links. That massively helps support me to keep making useful physical content for you guys. Thank you so much. Plus, if you're new here, subscribe. The more people that subscribe to this channel, the bigger it is, the more publishers will pay attention to physical releases. So do your bit, do your duty, okay? Have a fantastic day. Take care.